How does the Second Amendment prevent gun violence? The Second Amendment, how does the Second Amendment prevent gun violence? You're the one that believes that the insurrection
step out of the way,
please.
You're blocking a member of Congress.
Excuse me, ma'am.
You're blocking.
How does the Second Amendment prevent gun violence? You're the one that believes that the insurrection
step out of the way. You're blocking a member of Congress.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene was being asked questions by activists, people part of this group, constituents, if you would, the American people, who were asking her about her stance on gun violence and why, there's still nothing being done and people still being murdered, including children. But this was just yesterday, and she was talking to this one particular woman. Her name was Mariana Pecora. And as you saw, she wasn't happy with the questions. She wasn't happy with multiple people asking her and putting her on camera for those questions. So it was a kick she put at her feet. Maybe it was one of those, middle school tricks where you kick the person's foot and hope they fall. I'm not sure, but she tried multiple times. So Marjorie Taylor Greene posted the video of her kicking this woman in the back of her foot, as if that's some kind of a win. But anyway, let's watch another angle again to really show how she geared up, focused on her target, even had a little push there as well. Watch again.
How does the Second Amendment prevent gun violence? You're the one that believes that the insurrection
step out of the way. You're blocking a member of Congress.
Excuse me, ma'am.
It's that same push. It's a push, kick. Oh, excuse me. You're in my way. You're in my way. It's basic childlike behavior everyone can understand, because everyone was once children, unlike her. She's stuck in that one particular moment. So there was another member of this group there. His name is Santiago Meyer, and he's the executive director of Voters Tomorrow, which is the group that was talking to Marjorie Taylor Greene before she began assaulting folks. And she told him another one of the most typical things you could tell someone, because they're talking about gun violence in America. So of course it has to do with where maybe his background is from. Watch.
You're a coward is what you are.
How am I a coward? You're the one running away. You're the one running away.
No, gun rights protect people. That stops people from...
Oh yeah, what does gun rights do for all the kids who keep getting shots in school? How am I a coward? Representative Greene, please. Am I scared of guns?
You're scared of legal gun owners that want to protect their kids in school. Shame on you.
How? Shame on me?
Yeah, go move to another country where they take away your guns.
I want to live in a country where kids don't get shot. I want to live in a country where kids don't get shot. I don't think you like that.
Good. You know what?
So you like?
That way you can give up your Second Amendment rights.
So do you like living in a country where kids keep getting shot in school and dying?
We need access to the sidewalks.
Jackson, they need access to the sidewalk. So let's start finding anything else we can. I want to go through. There's multiple moments from this walk up. It started with the kick and the trip, or the attempted trip. It was definitely a kick. And then it goes on to talk about he needs to leave the country. We're talking about gun rights and children being murdered in the country, and it turns into all this. There's more stupidity that she said, but I want to get your first few thoughts.
So my initial thoughts are just where we find ourselves with conservatives all throughout history, but just focusing on now, their viewpoint and their arguments typically being, well, this won't fix things 100%, so let's do nothing at all. Or better yet, let's go in the wrong direction 1,100 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's some gaps here. This won't fully fix it. There's still going to be some people who get through the loop. So let's do nothing at all. And that's typically their plans. Though that's literally what their proposals are. It's let's stop progress from happening. Let's stop people from doing that. That's their whole entire ideology. And at a time where everything is completely out of control, obviously, we know that doesn't work. And yeah, she kicked that woman on purpose. Which really just kind of goes to show she was a little more slick than she gives off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but she wasn't expecting it to be caught. And maybe she was, or maybe she doesn't care. Because again, I would think Marjorie Taylor Greene wants the attention. She's always looking for a camera, always looking to complain and yell and stuff. Look at this. And over again, unless she's there being confronted by folks who can then put this in front of her face and then tell her, hey, people are watching. People are seeing who you are in your normal element, and you're not ready for all this. Let's jump down to graphic 5, you guys, because there's more about this and about her ignorance on what it is she's actually talking about. Since we've gotten by, go back to your country, and hey, I'm going to kick you in your foot. It's also the gun-free zone argument, which, again, she's wrong on. Watch.
I was in Boulder during the Colorado shooting at the supermarket, where 10 people were murdered down the street.
You know what? I support people to protect themselves with their guns, okay?
Why did you say to the children that he's getting shot?
Murder is illegal. Murder is illegal.
Shouldn't-
No, you know what?
Shouldn't Americans have the right to go to the grocery store
Americans
without
should have
having
the right
the
to
fear to
protect
be
themselves.
murdered?
Americans should have the right to
Yes, sir.
protect
Yes, sir.
themselves. Gun-free zones is where people die. Gun-free zones
People
is
died
what
in the
causes
grocery
people to
store.
die.
Down my-
Yeah,
It was a
gun-free
gun-free-
zone.
Oh.
Gun-free zone. Look
Was
at
the Texas
Gun-free
was the
zones
Texas
kill
grocery
people.
was the
Gun-free
Texas
zones
grocery
kill
store
people.
gun free zone? It
Gun-free
was not.
zones kill
It was
people.
not an innocent open carry state.
Like I said, you guys should move to some country where you can't have guns.
Okay.
Always back to going back to your own country and gun-free zones when she has no idea where the gun-free zones are. As long as someone gets killed there, they call it a gun-free zone. Let's go to what Santiago Meyer responded to on Twitter. This is graphic number 3, you guys, and continuing on, because that's the gentleman that was talking to her at the very end there. And he said, I approached Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene to try and get answers on why she refuses to protect children in schools. I was respectful and referred to her as Representative Greene. In response, she called me a coward and kicked a member of my team, as we've been talking about. That is precisely what she did, and she kept laughing after she walked away as well. Apparently, kids being shot in school are a joke to her, as another person was pointing out the things that she did, and she was laughing about her kicking of that other woman. And in fact, Marjorie Taylor Greene did respond on Twitter as well. Again, after all of this, she posted the video of this, thought she looked good, but then after all of that, and he pointed out what she was saying to him, just like I said, he's a paid political activist who just so happens to be blessed to have immigrated to our great country. He should respect and be grateful for American freedoms like our Second Amendment instead of trying to destroy them. If he doesn't like it, he can go back. It's the same playbook, Jackson. It's over and over and over again. This dirty immigrant shouldn't be in my country. He's lucky to be here. He should be grateful that we allowed him here. And now that he's here, he should be grateful for the Second Amendment because we can openly shoot anyone we want, including him, because we just don't care. And if he doesn't like it, go back to your country. One more thing about the paid political activist thing. Is Marjorie Taylor Greene paid? Is she in politics? She's definitely not an activist. Unless she's working for, the glory of rich white folks in the country. That's definitely what she's she's an activist for. But when someone being paid, let's not look too far from the person who's talking all this trash.
Yeah, well, exactly, and her being the one with a much broader career within the field, getting paid from this company and that company. But it's always so interesting, the argument against doing anything with strengthening gun control in the country or anything with strengthening our security measures. It's like, well, that's where it starts. Like, what are you talking about? Or improving our healthcare system, our education system, whatever it is. Oh, well, that's where it starts. And the next thing you know, we're going to be a Stalinist regime. Like, why is that the case? It doesn't. And that's really just ultimately what we're dealing with here. And then too, it's like they have this patriotic attitude to where it's like, you liberals and you guys are always complaining about this country and you should be grateful for X, Y, and Z. And but then they're also complaining about the country. So we can't complain. They can change the country however they want to. And typically that change is just making it more white. So,
yep. Yeah. The normalcy to them is what their normalcy is. Everyone has to conform to them. If anyone says, hey, there's other people here, it's go back to where you came from. I have news. You're not from here either.